बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। राधा रानी की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। Devotees, as we are about to begin this wonderful journey, Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran Yatra, the journey into the Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. As we take a divine journey in the spiritual journey that will help us to uplift ourselves spiritually, will bring us closer and closer to Bhagavan, will help us to understand many of the questions we have. Let's try to focus our mind, try to visualize the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He's bent in three places: neck, waist and ankles. Bluish in complexion, wearing pitambar, yellow clothes, beautiful silk and yellow clothes. A garland of wild flowers around his neck. A crown of peacock feather on his head. And he's playing the basi, the divine flute. He's looking at you with all the love in his eyes and smiling. Try to visualize his most beautiful form and lotus feet. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnana Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Baraha Pidam Natvarvapu Karnayo Karnikaram Vibhradvasaha Kanakakapisham Vaijayantim Chamala Randhran Ven Radhar Sudhaya Purayan Gopa Vrindai Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishagita Kirti Namah Kamalana Bhaya Namah Kamalamaline Namah Kamalapada Namaste Kamalekshana Yo Brahmanam Virdhati Purvam Yo Vedansha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvang Hadevam Atma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurve Sharanamaham Prapadye. बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। राधा रानी की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। भागवत महापुराण की जय। Worshipable Pandits, आदरणीय पंडितगण, प्रिय सज्जनों, प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, महानुभाव, पहले सभी को राधे राधे और मेरा प्रणाम. Most worshipable Pandits, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Divine Souls, first let me say Radhe Radhe to each and everyone. And my pranam, my humblest prostrations to all of you. Also, very special welcome to Bhakti TV and the viewers who are looking at us live. I want to say a special thank you to all our wonderful sponsors for making this possible for Bhakti TV to go live. A special thanks also to Pandit Satyanand Maharaj. Today we have his son Aditya. And thank him also and the whole team of Bhakti TV. Today we're taking a journey, we're starting a journey of 21 sessions. A journey into the Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. This most wonderful text, the last Puran, the last scripture that Vedas put in book form. This Bhagavat Mahapuran is the translation of Vedas. Ved being divine, apaurushaya. By Vedas, no book is meant. The Vedas are called apaurushaya, meaning they do not have the origin in man. They were not delivered by a prophet, angel, or special messenger of God, as were the scriptures of other religion. They are beginningless, eternal. They are the divine laws, divine treasury of divine laws revealed by the Supreme Lord Himself. It is the very breath of the eternal. Nihsvasityamasya Vedaha. Jaki sahaj swasa shruti chari. God took a breath and Vedas appeared. Vedas are eternal. Just as God is eternal, beginningless, Vedas are also eternal, beginningless. And just as Bhagwan is beyond our senses, mind and intellect, go chara jaha lagi man jai, so sab maya jani hu bhai. Vedas are also beyond our material senses, mind and intellect. No one, unless he is a saint, someone who has attained God, can understand Ved. The Vedas itself says, Acharyavan Purusho hi Ved. Hey, do not come and read me directly. Go to the saint, Acharya, the one who has realized God. Let him tell you what is in Ved. So Veda Vyas, he wrote Bhagavat Mahapuran, which is translation of Vedas. The highest authority, words of God Himself, His very breath. Veda Vyas, Avesha Avatar, partial manifestation of Sri Krishna, showered the greatest grace upon us by giving us this Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. And today we start the journey. Before we go into Bhagavat, we will do Bhagavat Sumiran. Riddhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sadan Varan Vajan Sumiro Varam Madan Kadan Hilal Ganpati Kripa Nidhan Jnana Anand Dehu mohi varna Varno bhasha bhagavat Jai Shiva Anand Bhutnath bhav bhaya haran Bhakti Vishay Nirdhan और वरन मंगल कर। हे ब्रज चंद मुकुंद ब्रजभूषण दूषण हरण। काटहु भव भय बंध चरण शरण ली आन कर। जय 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 जगदीश सेवत शेष महेश हर। महिमा अमित अभेद वेद भेद जानत वेद। देहु मोहि वरदान राधा वर यह वर सदा। प्रेम भरी मुस्कान नित चित्त में खटकात रहे। मोहि चाहिए कछु नाहि और वस्तु प्रभु जात की। बसी रहे मन मारी यह बाकी झाकी सदा। लिए लकुटिया गायन के पीछे विरत। बाल बाल लिए मोर मुकुट शिर पर धरे। कर मुरली उन्माद शीश मुकुट कटि पीत पट। या छवि सो नंदलाल बसहु हृदय मम निशि दिवस। गुरुपद रज धर शीश गुरुपद रज धर शीश। कहूँ भागवत की कथा जो शुकदेव मुनीश कवि। सो परीक्षित निपहति निगम कल्पतरो गलितं फलम्। शुकमुखादमृतद्रव संयुतम् पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम्। मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुका। मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुका। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। राधा रानी की जय। भागवत महापुराण की जय। I'd just like to say a special thanks to our wonderful sponsors, by the courtesy of whom we are able to bring, Bhakti TV is able to bring this Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran Yatra, Divine Yagna, to so many people throughout the world. The little store of Rapsi Street, Kirap, phone number 663-4415. Sital Fabricating and Construction Limited of Felicity, 671-5126. I want to thank them very much. May Bhagwan Shri Krishna shower his choicest blessings on them as they help to bring this to so many souls throughout the world. As we begin tonight's, as we delve into Shrimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, since we would be having 7 continuous nights sessions here at JKP Center, Jagat Guru Kripalu Parishad Center in Bholai Trace Chase Village. So I've chosen a wonderful katha from Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. This Katha, Naradji is related to Vasudev. एक बार जब भगवान श्री कृष्ण द्वारिका में रहते थे तो नारद जी आते रहते थे इनके दर्शन करने के लिए और वसुदेव भी आते थे। तो एक बार दोनों मिल गए। नारद जी और वसुदेव ने देखा कि ये परम संत नारद जी है, तो उनके पास गए, प्रणाम किया, आशीर्वाद लिया और कुछ मांगा। क्या मांगा हम सुनेंगे। When Bhagavan Shri Krishna was staying in Dwarika, so Narad ji, being a great devotee of Shri Krishna, would come all the time to have darshan of his beloved Lord. Narad ji, that great Muni Rishi Narad ji, has done many different pastimes as Manas Putra of Brahma, the creator, Rishi Muni. But Narad ji is in fact called Brahm also, a descension of Shri Krishna. Among the 24 descensions of Shri Krishna, Narad ji is also counted. So Vasudev also used to come to Dwarika to visit Shri Krishna. Once he saw Narad ji there, and seeing this is the great opportunity, he went quickly, bowed at the lotus feet of Narad ji, and he asked for something from Narad ji. What did he ask? We'll hear in the Katha. In the books we can turn to page 13 as we sing beautiful bhajan. Mere Nanda Nandan, Mere Nanda Nandan, Apna Banale Mohi, Mere Nanda Nandan. Jagar Gurutam Shri Kripaluji Mahaprabhu has composed this wonderful divine kirtan. And this a devotee saying to Shri Krishna, Hey Shri Krishna, O son of Nanda Baba, please make me your own, please make me your own. O Nanda Nandan, Darasa Dikade Tukkanandan, please let me be blessed with even a glance, a glimpse of your divine form, etc. It's beautiful.
Mere Nanda Nandan, Mere Nanda Nandan, Apna bana le mohi, Mere Nanda Nandan. Mere Nanda Nandan, Mere Nanda Nandan. दरस दिखा दे टुक मेरे नंद नंदन, दरस दिखा दे टुक मेरे नंद नंदन, ओ मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, निज से वादे मोही मेरे नंद नंदन, निज से वादे मोही मेरे नंद नंदन, ओ मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन। तमे कदा तु देवर्षि वसुदेवो गृहागतम् अर्चितं सुखमासीन मविबोधमब्रवीत्। मेरे नंद नंदन, मेरे नंद नंदन, बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद जन सेवा दे मोही मेरे नंद नंदन जन सेवा दे मोही मेरे नंद नंदन भगवान भगवतो यात्रा स्वधस्ते स्वरहीनां कृपणानां यथा पितरो तमश्लोकवर्तनाम् ओ मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन मैं ना भूलूं कभू तो ही मेरे नंद नंदन मैं ना भूलूं कभू तो ही मेरे नंद नंदन भजन्ति ये यथा देवान् देवापि तथैव तान् ध्यायेव कर्म सच्चित्वाः साधवो दीनवत्सलाः अहं किल पुराणन्तं प्रजारो भुवि मुक्तिदम् अपूजयं न मोक्षाय मोहितो देवमायया मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन मेरे नंद नंदन अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन ओ अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन अपना बना ले मोही मेरे नंद नंदन बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की।
तो यहाँ तमे कदा तु देवर्षि वसुदेवो गृहागतम् अर्चितं सुखमासीन मभिवाद्योदमब्रवीत्। Shrimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, 11 canto, 2nd chapter, 3rd verse. Seeing this wonderful opportunity, meeting that great saint Naraji that has come to visit his home, of course being the home of Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna being his son, so Nanda Baba is also looking this as his own home. He worshipped Naraji, realizing the greatness. When we meet, even if Naraji is not even the descension of Sri Krishna, but he is a saint. And the scriptures tell us the saint is God personified. Sri Krishna himself says to Uddhav, Acharya mam bhijaniyan navamanyet karhichit namartya buddhya suyet sarvadeva mayo guru. 11 canto, 17th chapter, 27 verse, Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. Bhagavan Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, Uddhav, know the saint, one who's attained God, who is divine, who's gone beyond Maya. Know him to be Shri Krishna, Mam Vijanya. Know him to be me, Uddhav, Shri Krishna himself, personified. Do not see him as a material man. He looks like that. We have material eyes. So we can't see the divinity, neither God nor a saint. And that's why we don't benefit. Uncountable times we have seen God whenever He has descended in the world. We, the individual soul, is eternal, beginningless. Just as God is called Aj in the Vedas, the Jivatma is also, the soul is also called Aj. Gya Gyau Dva Vaja Vishani Vaja. Shvetashvatara Upanishad chapter 1 verse 9. The individual soul is also eternal, beginningless, just like God. So we have taken birth uncountable times in human form. In every form of life, 8.4 million, but even in the human form, uncountable times. And whenever God has descended in this world, as Ram, Krishna, etc., we were there, we saw. We have met saints uncountable times. All the saints we hear, Tulsidas, Surdas, Meera, Tukaram, Nanak, Gaurang Mahaprabhu, we were there also. Even presently, many of us were in the company of one of the greatest saints, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. What happened? जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी खीन कैसी जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी तिन तैसी. Tulsidas Ji Maharaj is saying, just as how we are on the inside, the condition of our heart, our mind, when we meet divine entities, we see them the same way. It gets reflected like a mirror. If we have a tamasic nature, our heart is extremely dirty, I'm very sinful, we meet God or a saint, very bad man, very bad, because I am very bad. If you have a rajasic nature, we love money, we're very attached to the material world, we meet God or a saint, oh, I know, he likes money. He's a very material man. And if you have a sattvic nature, we have high and noble thoughts, we think good thoughts in the heart, in the mind, and we meet God or a saint, good man, he's a good man, achha. Better than me, but good. That's all. And God and the saint are beyond Maya. How are we going to understand? This is why Shri Krishna says in Gita, Avajananti mamurha manushim tanumashitam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Chapter 9, verse 11, Gita. Shri Krishna says, Arjun, unaware of my divine nature, that I am God, I am divine, ignorant human beings, we the people in the world, under the control of Maya, mistake him for an ordinary human being. Instead of benefiting, we commit nama prad, unpardonable sin. We have doubts. We even have negative feelings. But Vasudev, who is Vasudev? To have the blessing to be the father of Bhagwan, that Lord who is the father of the whole universe. In the previous life, Vasudev had attained the boon. Manu is the Manu. He had done great tapasya and was granted the boon. He had asked, the Lord came and asked, what do you want? He says, I want to have a son like you. Shri Krishna said to him, there's none like me. So I will come as your son. So Vasudev knows that Naraji is such a great saint, Bhagwan personified. So he worshipped him in the best way, give him a wonderful seat. And then he said, hey, Munishesh, hey Naraji, ये मार्ग बताइए. हम लोग माया के अंदर में है और अपने को भूल गया. ये माया, तो जो जीव माया के ग्रस्त में है, माया के वश में है, जो माया में आसक्त है, वो कैसे निकाल सकते? ये देवता लोग भी किसी के परवाह नहीं करते हैं. अगर इनकी पूजा करेंगे तो आशीर्वाद देंगे, नहीं करेंगे तो श्राप देंगे. लेकिन संत ऐसा नहीं होते. जो भी आप करेंगे संत के बारे के तरह, वो बस कृपा कृपा करेंगे. ऐसे संत होते हैं. So Vasudeva is saying to Naraji, O topmost among Muni Rishi, O Lord, for people who are treading on the path, when saints like you come in this world, it is of the greatest welfare for them. Being attached to the material world under the Maya, and being attached in the material world, and that attachment which is so almost impossible to break, when they come in the association of saints, it becomes very easy. Devatas cannot do anything for them. The Devatas are very selfish. If you pray, if you do Havan and you please them, they will shower their blessing, they'll give you rain, etc. And you don't do it, they will curse you instead. Drought, famine. So they are selfish. Shankar Bhagwan says this to Parvati in the Ramayana. Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Bolo Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram. जाते कछु निज स्वार्थ होई, तापर ममता करे सब कोई. बोल राम सिया राम जय जय राम. राम सिया राम जय जय राम. ओ सुर नर मुनि तब कह यह रीति, स्वार्थ लागी करही सब प्रीति. बोलो राम सिया राम जय जय राम. राम सिया राम जय जय राम. जाते कछु निज स्वार्थ होई, तापर ममता करे सब कोई. Shankar Bhagwan is saying to Parvati, the basis of all worldly relation is selfishness. When someone can do what we want, or we can do what they want, we fulfill their selfishness, I love you. And when they cannot do it, they refuse to fulfill our selfishness, or they can't do it, they don't do what we want, I hate you. This is what we call love and hate in the world. The fulfillment or non-fulfillment of our selfishness. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Or not only human beings, Sura Nara Muni. Sur means devatas, Nara, human beings, Muni, Rishi. Sura Nara Muni Sabakai Yahariti. This is a law. Swarat lagi karahi sab preeti. If to fulfill their selfishness, love, preeti. You do what the devatas, you follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedas, you perform yajna. Not very easy, very difficult, impossible in Kali Yuga. They will fulfill your desire. You don't, you do it wrong, you get punishment. Naraji is saint, but a saint is different. No matter what you do. No matter what you do. Kripa, kripa, kripa. Grace, grace, grace. Kagba Sundaji is describing the saints. He says to Guruji Maharaj, Paropakar vachan man kaya sant sahaj स्वभाव जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय भूजतरु समसंत कृपाला भुजना परहित सहनित विपत्ति विशाला भुजना जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम पर उपकार वचन मन काया संत सहज स्वभाव खगराया. By words, thoughts and deeds, the saintly people, they are benevolent, para upakar. They can only think about the welfare of others. That's all. No matter what you do. Sahaja swabhav. Their nature, they can't help it. They can't help it. Sahaja swabhav. As a wicked person, his nature is just to hurt others, to cause pain. The nature of a snake, to bite. The nature of the rat, to destroy. Ahimo shak. Ahimo shak ivasuna uragari. The wicked person, early on in the same katha, he says, the wicked person, He compares them to the snake, to a rat. Ahi means snake, mushak, a rat. A snake bites someone, it doesn't get anything, and the person dies. The rat comes in the house, destroys, chews up all the paper, book, but doesn't get anything from that. And so the wicked person. But the saintly people, their nature. And he gives a wonderful example. The nature is benevolence. To only think about the welfare of others. He gives an example of Bhoj Patta. This tree is made of bark. And the bark long ago was used for writing all the scriptures. There was no paper. Even now there's some that has been well preserved, written Bhoj Patta in the bark of the tree. I've seen. So you keep taking the bark out of the tree, and eventually the tree dies for the sake of others. In the same way, the saint, what do we do when saints come in this world? Tulsidas, Surdas, Meera, Tukaram, all the saints. Did we treat them nicely? Did we worship them? Hare. Meera, today we sing her bhajan. The beautiful bhajan she composed for Shri Krishna. Her own in-laws, not strangers, her own in-laws, they tried to kill her. They gave her poison, telling her it was nectar. She drank it, it became nectar. They put a poisonous snake in a basket and gave it to her, covered it and told her this was a garland for the Lord. She took it out, it became a garland. Every saint. So many attempts were made. Today we love Ramayana, we read Ramayana. We make a living by reading that Ramayana. When Tulsidas wrote the Ramayana, the Pandits of Kashi, how many attempts they made to kill Tulsidas and destroy that Ramayana. Read history. It's all there. This is what happens. No matter what you do, even then they will still say to Bhagavan, they will never think about harming. Oh Lord, please forgive them, they don't know. Bless them, bless them. So Naraji, you are a great saint. अब ये बताइए कि ये जो हमारा आसक्ति है संसार में और इससे हम दुख मिलते हैं, दुख है, तो इसे कैसे मुक्त हो जाएंगे? आप बताइए. He says, "O Naraji, O great saint, therefore please instruct us. We are so attached to this material world, in this material existence, and this attachment is the cause of all miseries, all suffering. We are bounded by fear on all sides. Please tell us how we can become free from that. Tell us something, Naraji." नारद मुनि ने शुरू किया. नारद जी ने कहा, ठीक है, बताऊंगा. So Naraji is sitting, Vasudev sat down, and Naraji started. Naraji is great saint. He started relating divine philosophy. Priyavato nama suto manoho swayambhu vasya yah tasyagnigrastato nabhis rishabhas tatsutah smitah. Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran, 11 Canto, 2nd chapter, 15 verse. There was a Manu, Swayambhu Manu. Not first Manu, Swayambhu Manu. The son of Swayambhu Manu was Priyabrat. The son of Priyabrat was Agnidra. The son of Agnidra was Nabhi. And the son of Nabhi was Rishabh. Rishabh is counted among descension of Shri Krishna. So he is also called Rishabh Bhagavan, Rishabh Dev. Rishabh Dev had 100 sons, 100 पुत्र थे. उनमें से सबसे बड़े थे जर भरत. Rishabdev had 100 sons. Out of them, the eldest was Jar Bharat. इससे पहले ये संसार, ये विश्व का नाम था अजनाभ वर्ष. अजनाभ वर्ष. भरत के कारण ये नाम पड़ गया ये विश्व का भारत वर्ष. Bharat was so great, Jar Bharat, that before him the whole world was known as Ajanabha Varsh, the Jambu Dweep. Because of Bharat, the world became known as Bharat Varsh. What we call India today is just a small little place. The whole world was called Bharat, India at one time. The whole world. When we say Bharat, it means the whole world, what we call the world today. Today, a little place we call India. Slowly, all kinds of things. This is Kali Yuga. Even recently, there was division. Some part became Nepal, some became Bangladesh, some became Pakistan. Recently. So, the eldest, Jar Bharat, 81 पुरोहित बन गए, यज्ञ इत्यादि करने लगे. नाउ विश्व का राजा बन गए, राज करने लगे, और नाउ योगीश्वर थे. So out of the 100, the eldest was Jar Bharat. From the 99 that remained, 81 became Purohit, performing yagna, etc., karma kand, for the benefit of the world. 9 became rulers of the world, and 9 were yogishwars, topmost among yogis. Topmost. यहां लिखा है, कवि हरे अंतरिक्ष प्रबुद्ध पिपलायना आविर्होत्रोथ द्रुमिलस चमस करभाजना. 11 canto, 2nd chapter, 21st verse. Shrimat Bhagavat Mahapuran. The 9 names of those 9 yogishwars are given. क्यों? Because they were so great. आप लोग ने सुना है कि ब्रह्मा 4 मानस पुत्र, सनक, सनंदन, सनातन, सनक कुमार, हमेशा 5 साल के रहते थे और नंगे घूमते, और जहां भी जाना चाहते हैं जाते हैं, कोई इनको रोक नहीं सकते, नहीं रोक सकते और नहीं रोकते हैं. इस तरह भी ये 9 योगीश्वर उसी तरह जहां भी जाना चाहते हैं, स्वतंत्र बस सोच के चले जाते हैं, और कोई उनको रोकते नहीं रोक सकते. You have heard about 4 mind-born sons of Brahma, the creator. When Brahma was told to go and create, first he created Babajis, the Saptarishis, Naradji, Narad, Angira, etc. This 4 Paramhans, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanak Kumar, 4 brothers. They always remain 5 years old, little boys, naked. They never get aged. They never get older than that. And they go wherever they want. No one stops them. And they don't have to take a chariot and go. They just have to think in their mind, I want to go to this divine abode. I want to go to Vaikuntha. I want to go to this Saket Lok. And they reach. It is a beautiful katha, a divine leela. Once they went to visit Mahavishnu, and what happened? Jay and Vijay stopped them, and the big leela. They give shrap. And then Bhagwan had to come, and Bhagwan, he caused everything. They were Paramhans, they got angry. Paramhans is one, they're not supposed to get angry. Cannot. Dvaita ki buddhi krodha binu. Dahit ki krodha buddhi. To get angry, there must be duality. That I is separation. I am here and you were there. Then you can get angry. But a Paramhans is one who sees himself everywhere. Everywhere. He doesn't hear anything, smell anything, see anything, taste, touch, feel anything. Everywhere. Brahm, 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 Brahm. He experiences himself everywhere. So how could they get angry? And there's no Maya in Vaikunt. This is the abode of Bhagavan. Maya cannot go there. So how did Jay and Vijay, Nitya Siddha Mahapurush, become ignorant? That they did not recognize these four saints. When what Bhagavan wants is going to happen. Where the impossible becomes possible. In other words, Yoga Maya. Bhagavan wanted it to happen. Leela. Because he had to descend and make an excuse for descending. So Jay and Vijay became in 3 lifetimes. Hiranyaksh, Hiranyakashipu. Second lifetime, Ravan, Kumbhakaran. Third time, Shishupal, Dantabakra. And Bhagavan himself said, I will destroy you. I will come. I will take you. He had to come because when they're from divine abode, this is Nitya Siddha Mahapurush Sant, no one could destroy them. They're equal to Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself had to come. Anyhow, so this is just by the way. We have 21 days. Maybe we will hear that wonderful katha. So, the same way, Naraji is saying, these 9 Yogeshwars, in comparison, he's comparing them to Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanak Kumar. They can go wherever they want. They were so powerful. And who were they? Kavi, Hari, Antariksh, Prabudh, Pipalayan, Avirhotra, Drumil, Chamas, Karbhajan. 9. तो एक राजा निमि थे. राजा निमि. वो राजा निमि राजा जनक की तरह विदेह बोलते थे. विदेह निमि मतलब परमहंस. वो यज्ञ कर रहे थे. वो यज्ञ में ऋषि मुनि पुरोहित बन गए थे. तो ये 9 योगेश्वर सोचने लगे कि इस यज्ञ में जाना चाहिए. तो वहां पहुंच गए. बस सोचा पहुंच गए. So there was a great king by the name of Raja Nimi, King Nimi. This King Nimi was also called Videha Nimi. Just like Janak, the father of Mother Sita, is called Videha. Videha means one who has no feeling of the body. In other words, Paramhans. Self-realized. So, Nimi was also called Videha. Videha Nimi was performing a yagna. The Rishi and Munis were the priests, the Purohits. So, these 9 Yogeshwars decided to bless the yagna of Videha Nimi. They just thought we should go there and they reached in a moment. Videha, Nimi being Videha, उनको देखकर और देखा चारों ओर में रोशनी ही रोशनी. और समझ गया कि ये नित्य सिद्ध महापुरुष, ये संत है, तप संतों के शिरोमणि. तो यज्ञ छोड़ के भागे उनके पास. और पुरोहित लोग भी यज्ञ छोड़ के भाग गए. अग्निदेव प्रकट हो गए और भागने लगे 9 योगेश्वर के पास. When Videha Nimi saw these 9 divine entities appear, he saw like thousands of sun, the light around them, a glow about them. He had the right eyes. If we see, we won't see anything. We have to have the right eyes to see. Chidanandamaya deha tumhari, vigat vikar jani adhikari. To see a divine entity, divine form, we have to have divine eyes. We have to be adhikari. In other words, if we were to see God or a saint with our material eyes, these eyes we have, what does it do? It sees. What can it see? Material objects, because it's material. So with these material eyes, if we were to see God and the saints, we will see them as material beings, just like us, with all the shortcomings and all the defects and faults, just like us. And that's why we never benefit. We have seen God uncountable times when He's descended in this world. We have met uncountable saints. But we never benefit. Doubt. We saw them just like ourselves. You call that a saint? You call that a God? Are you crazy? I'm better than him. But Videha Nimi, he saw the reality. So he left the yajna. This is a saint, is God personified. That God has come, you're going to continue yajna. He left the yajna and ran to them. The rishis and munis who were the purohit, the priests, they left and ran with him also. Agni Dev, the god of fire, personified from the fire, and he also went. This is all written here. They give a most wonderful seed to them. Worship them in the best, in the highest way. And then, having given a most beautiful seed, and worship them in the highest way, Videha Nimi then spoke to them. What did he say? Let's hear. In the books you have, turn to page 25.
Radhe 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 Govinda 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 Jo Sat Gan Chit Gan Sukh Kanda Radhe Radhe Govinda Jo Sat Gan Chit Gan Sukh Kanda Radhe Radhe Govinda दो चकोर है दो है चंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा दो चकोर है दो है चंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा दुर्लभो मानुषो देहो देहिनां क्षणभङ्गुरः तत्रापि दुर्लभं मन्ये वायुरिव सुदुष्करम् दुर्लभो मानुषो देहो देहिनां क्षणभङ्गुरः तत्रापि दुर्लभं मन्ये वैकुण्ठप्रियदर्शनम् राधे राधे गोविन्दा राधे राधे गोविन्दा राधे राधे गोविन्दा राधे राधे गोविन्दा भजु भजु बेरन करुमति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा भजु भजु बेरन करुमति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा युगल चरण को बनहु मिलिंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा अत आत्यन्तिकं श्रेयं पृच्छामो भवतो न धर्धाः संसारेऽस्मिन् क्षणार्धोऽपि सत्सङ्गः शेषदिनाः धर्मान् भगवतामृत यदि नः श्रूयते क्षयं वैः प्रसन्नः प्रपन्नाय दास्यत्यात्मानमात्यजः राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा तजु छल छंदा भजुमति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा तजु छल छंदा भजुमति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा O foolish mind, give up all deception, all fraud, and worship the Lord Shri Radha Krishna. तेरी गति मति रति मति रति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा तेरी गति मति रति मति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा जो कृपालु है अति मति मंदा राधा and Shri Krishna are the utmost limit of grace, Kripa. Therefore worship them, they are extremely merciful. जो कृपालु है अतिमति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा कृपालु है अतिमति मंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा ओ राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
Then विदेह निमि उनके पूजन करने के बाद बहुत सुंदर आसन दिया, उनके श्री चरणों का पूजन किया और इसके बाद बोलने लगे कि मन्ये भगवतः साक्षात् पार्वदान्यो मदुद्दृशः विष्णोर्भूतानि लोकानां पावनाय चरन्ति. 11 Canto, 2nd chapter, 28th verse. मैं ऐसा समझ रहा हूं कि आप भगवान का गण है, भगवान का ही लोग है, और जहां भी भगवान का गण जाते हैं, उनके भक्त जाते हैं, तो सबका पवित्र बनते हैं, सबको पवित्र बना देते हैं. He says, looking at you, I know that you are the attendants of the Supreme Lord. You are His people. You are the topmost among saints. That Lord, who is a destroyer of the demon Madhu. That's why He's known as Madhusudan. Wherever you go, you purify the whole world. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangurah tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priya darshanam. 11 Canto, 2nd chapter, 29 verse. Videha Nimi said to the 9 Yogeshwars, first to begin, this human body is the rarest and most difficult to attain in the 8.4 million forms of life. The soul keeps rotating. Akar chari lakh chaurasi yoni brahmat yah jeev avinasi. Bhagwan Shri Ram is saying to the residents of Ayodhya, the individual soul, the Jivatma, is Avinashi, eternal, indestructible. But because of his action, it keeps rotating in 8.4 million forms of life. And in that 8.4 million, the human body is the rarest and most difficult to attain. It's the best, but it's extremely difficult. Even devatas, celestial gods, are begging and praying to get birth in the human form, and they can't get it. So difficult. Imagine people, they pray to devatas. They want to go to heaven. And those who are living in heaven, the devatas, they are praying for what we have. Durlabham manusham janma pradhyate tirashairapi. Narad Puran. The devatas are praying to Shri Krishna, hey Shri Krishna, please give us birth in the human form. We don't want heaven, there is nothing here. That's why the Vedas say those people who want to go to heaven and perform action to go to heaven, they're not only ordinary fools, but they're the greatest fool. Pramudha. Mundak Upanishad, first Mundak, second content mantra. Anyhow, so Durlabho manusho dehi aur dehinam kshana bhanguraha. But it has a problem. At which moment we can lose it, we don't know. Any moment. There's no guarantee, bhaiya, that you will live to see an old age. Every day we see people dying in the childhood, youth, middle age. There's no guarantee you're going to live to be old. Nobody can guarantee. And even more difficult, Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam, to have the association of a saint, those who have attained God, His divine knowledge, divine bliss, divine vision. And I have 9 sitting in front of me. How blessed am I to meet even one saint? Is not only difficult, extreme. Only when God will shower His grace, we can meet a saint. Ab mohi bha bharosa hanumanta binu hari kripa milahi nahi santa. Vibhishan is saying to Hanuman, "O Hanumanji, I have full faith that only because the Lord Shri Ram showered His grace upon me, I am able to meet a saint, I am able to meet you, Hanuman. Otherwise, impossible. Impossible." So I have gotten this. अब आपसे कुछ मांगना है. आप बताइए, वो चीज कैसे प्राप्त होगा जिससे ये संसार को छोड़ सकते, अनंत काल तक आनंदमय रहेगा. इस संसार में ये संत लोग के संग करने से एक क्षण का भी जो हम लोग हैं, जो संसारी लोग हैं, इनके एक क्षण का भी, आधा क्षण का भी संग करने से भगवान को बहुत प्रसन्न होते हैं, बहुत प्रसन्न, बहुत बड़े आशीर्वाद है. He says, please tell me that by which, that thing we can attain, that everlasting thing that can free us from this material existence and suffering in this material world. The association, even half a moment association with a true saint, it is so great. Half a moment. This is the real satsang. We hear the word satsang misused. People don't even understand what satsang means. Oh, I'm going satsang. What is a satsang, bhaiya? Sat, sang. Sat means sant, saint. Sang means association. When we associate with the true saint, someone who's attained God realization in the right way, that is a satsang. There's a right way and there's a wrong way also. There's so much conditions we have to fulfill. And yet everybody is saying, I'm going satsang. Somebody is singing, that is satsang. We don't understand. Even half a moment, Adha Kshan, for those of us who have duties in the world, who observe religious duties, who have sacred observances to the Lord, is such a great blessing that the Lord confers. Only by His blessing, the blessing of the Lord, we can get even half a moment of that association. Only when Bhagwan, imagine, only when God will shower His grace is being said here. अब क्या करना? तो यहां कवि ने जवाब दी. पहला, एक एक योगीश्वर ने जवाब दी एक एक प्रश्न के लिए. Videha Nimi kept asking question, and every question he asks, each one by one, the Yogishwars, they answered. So the first one was Kavi. So Kavi Ruvacha. Kavi is answering. First one. So Kavi says, Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana vanisitasya bhavat karoti yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayetat. 11 Canto, 2nd chapter, 36 verse. We say this is a prayer sometime, a little bit different. A little bit different. You may have heard this. Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakriti swabhavad karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. So a little bit different. So here it has been done in the third person, what someone should do. And when we say it, we do it in the first person, what I am doing. What I am doing. So here, Kavi is saying, I believe that the person whose mind is always agitated, mistaken himself to be this worthless body. We people, there's an ignorance, a jnani. From beginningless time, we have forgotten who we are. Bhool gaye apne aap ko. We have forgotten that we are the soul, Atma. We identify with this body. This body belongs to us. Whatever belongs to us cannot, just by logic, understand. Someone says, this is my house, this is my motor car. Do they ever say, I am the house, I am the motor car? No. You will say he is mad. In the same way, my body, my head is hurting me, my body is paining, my finger got cut. My head is hurting, my body. So, body belongs to me. Then how do we say I am the body? How dare you hit me? How dare you curse me? I'm a Trinidadian, I'm a Guyanese, I'm American, I'm a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer. So many Hindu, Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, so many titles. These are all titles of the body. If I'm the body, then I'm all those things. But I'm not the body, I'm the soul, Atma. And the soul has no titles. It's not a Brahmin, not a Kshatriya, not a Vaishya, not a Shudra, not a Hindu, not a Muslim, not a Christian, not a Buddhist, not a Jain. It's not a Trinidadian, not a Guyanese, not an American, not an Indian, etc. So you see, it means we are totally mad. Because we don't know who we are. Yet if somebody tells us we are mad, we get very angry. But we are full mad, not only half full mad. We have no idea who we are. So having forgotten that and identified with the body, we have forgotten to worship the Lord. Instead of falling in love with God, with Bhagavan, we fall in love with the world. We worship the world because we are looking for happiness in the world. We are looking, if we think I am the body, then whatever is in the world, to make the body happy, we give it everything it needs, it is looking for. Because of that ignorance of identifying with the body from beginningless time, you see, to want happiness is not wrong. To want happiness is not wrong. Because we are a fraction of happiness. It's a natural law that every fraction, every part has a natural love for the whole and wants to become one with it. All rivers naturally flow to the ocean, being a fraction of the ocean. All flames of fire naturally rises upward, being a fraction of the sun. In the same way, the Jivatma, the soul, being an eternal fraction of God, naturally love and want only God, only Shri Krishna. Mamaivansho jivaloke jiva bhutah sanatanaha. Chapter 15, verse 7, Gita. Shri Krishna says the individual souls are eternal fractions of Him, of God. Sanatan means eternal. Everywhere, Ved, Ramayana, Bhagavat, everywhere, we are told that the soul is a fraction of God. It means we naturally love and want only God. Even if we say, I don't believe in God, I'm an atheist. I'll tell you why. Who is God? What is God? In the Vedas, it says, Anando Brahmeti Vijanat. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 3, verse 6. A rishi by the name of Bhrigu did a research. And through the help of the Guru, he discovered many things. He was looking to find out what is God, who is God. This katha is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, 3rd chapter. First, he discovered food. He thought food or grain is God. The Guru said, no, you're wrong. Then he discovered the mind, the life force. The Guru said, you're wrong. Then he said the mind. Guru said, you're wrong. Food, the life force, mind. Then he said the soul. Again, the Guru said, no, you're wrong. And finally he said, Anando Brahmeti Vajanat. Chapter 3, verse 6. God is Anand, bliss, happiness. When he said that, Guru smiled. Yes, now you're correct. In other words, God is happiness, He is bliss. Raso vai sahara sagvam hevayam labdva nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7. The Vedas are saying God is ras, He is bliss, He is happiness. In other words, whether we say happiness, bliss, or we say Shri Krishna, these are two names for one and the same entity. You say God or you say happiness is the same thing. And we all want happiness. Tell me Find me such a person who will say, I want pain and suffering instead of happiness. You cannot find such a person. Impossible. Call it peace, call it happiness, call it luxury, call it whatever you want. We all want happiness. So you say, Mr. Atheist, Mr. Non-believer in God, do you want happiness? Yes. Then you want God. Call him happiness. His name is happiness in the Vedas. You can call him any name you want. I don't want to say Bhagavan. Fine, don't say God, Bhagavan. Anantanama Rupaya. He has uncountable name, uncountable forms. No matter what word, what name you take, his uncountable name will come in that. Call him whatever name you want. Doesn't matter. We don't understand what is God. That's why we say I don't believe in God. And what we should look for in God. Everyone. So because of ignorance, we have always been looking for it in the wrong place. We want happiness. Nothing is wrong. It's our nature. But we've been looking in the material world where it cannot be found from beginning this time. And this is where the saint comes, the true saint, the true guru. When we associate with a true guru for some time, and that knowledge is able to sit in our intellect, that I am the soul, the Atma. Number one. Number two, that I want only happiness. Number three, that happiness I'm looking for, I'll find only in Shri Krishna. Because Shri Krishna is happiness. Then I will turn in the right way. Otherwise, impossible. Somebody is going, this is Shogunas, and he wants to go to Port of Spain, but he is going towards south. He's going south. Keep going south. You're going in the wrong direction. Somebody stops and asks, where are you going? I'm going to Port of Spain, but you're going in the wrong direction. Turn around. Go in the northern direction. If we listen. But that person has to know which direction is Port of Spain. That person has to know how we can find God. Where is God? Why should we want to know God? Etc. To be able to convince us. Then it's going to happen. So knowing that, whatever he does with the body, with the tongue, with the mind, whatever we do, whatever action we perform, this is what this mantra is saying. This verse we say when we are praying also. Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakriti swabhavat karumi yadyat sakalam paras. Whatever I think, whatever I understand, whatever I come in my mind, whatever I speak, whatever action I perform, I offer everything to God. This is the same thing Shri Krishna says in Gita. Yat karoshya dashnasi yat johosya dasyat yat tapasasi kaunteya tat kurushama darpanam. Chapter 9 verse 27 Gita. Whatever action you perform, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, whatever your sacrifice you make, whatever you do, offer to Shri Krishna first. So if you hear this prayer sometime that someone is saying, you don't understand what they're saying, this is what they're saying. I am offering everything. Everything I offer fully to you, my Lord. They may not offer it, they just say words, but that's what it's supposed to mean. Most time we just say words. There's no feeling in the heart. We think we can say something and God will be pleased by words. God doesn't care whether you can speak Sanskrit, English, Hindi, French, Spanish, or no language. The kingdom of God is not in words. Bhagwan doesn't have a language problem that you have to speak Sanskrit, then he will listen. If we have to speak Sanskrit, then God will listen. Then the people who are dumb, who can't speak, they will have a strike. They will have a strike. Hartal. They will say, hey Bhagwan, hey God. And God says what? You are saying that we have to speak Sanskrit, then you will listen. We can't even speak Give us God realization free. Muft mein. Bhagwan says, no, no, no. Gadha, wo nahi hai. No, fools. I don't care whether you can speak or not. I care only what is in your mind. Mind. I look at what's your heart, your mind, what feeling you have. I don't care what words you say or how you say. The Devtas care. If you want to go to heaven, there are rules in all the Vedas, the mantras, the intonations you have to make with the voice, hand movements you have to make. Swastena Indro Bridhashrava Swastina Pukha Vishwaveda. You can't just say it like a song. And people say they don't even know Sanskrit. Laba, 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 they speak and they're doing. Ved is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Karma Kand. The slightest mistake in one swar. Swar doesn't mean letter. Swar means the intonation of the voice. A slight mistake in the intonation, the whole meaning changes. And instead of getting benefit, you will get harm. And that's karma kan, rites and rituals. When it comes to bhakti, those rules are not there. When it comes to bhakti, Bhagavan says, all I care about is love, prem. Premate prakat hoi mai jana. Prabhu vyapak sarvatra samana. God pervades everywhere, not only in the mandir, not only in the murti, everywhere, in the ram shop, in the road, in the toilet, everywhere. And samana, 100%, equally. And how are we going to find him, see him? Premate prakat. Only through prem, love, will we be able to see and find him. Nothing else, no gyan, no yoga, no karma, nothing works. Bhaiya, only prem, love. That's the only thing he cares about. So Bhagwan says, I understand the language of the heart, and everybody has a heart, a mind. I look to see when you were saying the mantra, was it coming from the lips or is it coming from the heart? You are saying, Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvam Ev, Tvam you, Ev alone. Hey Shri Krishna, you alone are my mother, you alone are my father, you alone are my friend, you alone are my companion, you alone are my wealth, you alone are my knowledge, you alone are my everything. Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. You are saying that from the mouth, but in the heart, you are thinking something else. In other words, you are lying to God. There's no feeling that you are alone. First to begin, most people don't even think what they're saying. Don't even think what they're saying. And some don't even know what they're saying. Somebody has just told them, say this, and they say it. Don't have any idea what it means. And even if you know, you lie. How many people have the feeling that God alone is my mother, God alone is my father, God alone is my wealth? What about the money in the bank? That's also mine. What about my worldly mother and father? They're also my mother and father, etc. Because I am the body. Until and unless the knowledge comes that I am the soul, the Atma, that we cannot say from the heart. The knowledge has to come that I am the soul, the Atma. Then I can say from the heart. Otherwise, I am the body. Then you can't say. So he says, that way. And there's much more that he said that causes this. Bhayam dvitiya bhinivesha beta bhinivesha tasya. Disha the petas, that we have turned away from God. Identifying with the body, we have turned our back towards God. And that caused something to happen. Having turned away from God, we became filled with fear and suffering. We'll hear that, what he means by that and how it happened in the next discourse, in the next katha. बोली वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। राधा रानी की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे।